Hey guys, and welcome to the Silent Code Dev. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the CSS Flexbox. So the CSS Flexbox is very important to know because that's pretty much what most developers use when they are developing a website. And it's very powerful when it comes to actually creating website layout, right? Positioning elements on the page and getting it very accurate. Because with Flexbox, you can actually make most websites. And that's usually what's enough, right? Like when you know Flexbox, it's just, you can do so much more. You can create so much more. You have so much more control. So if any video, this video is very important, and it's important to, if you don't understand what Flexbox is, I'm going to help you understand it. So before we dive into the actual CSS, I want to show you guys how Flexbox works. We're going to compare it to, you've probably heard about CSS Grid, which is very similar to, it's actually a way more powerful tool than Flexbox. So we are actually going to, I'm going to show you guys the differences and we're going to compare both of them like that. So the one thing you have to understand is that Flexbox is one dimensional. Let me see if I can spell correctly. Dimensional. Okay. While CSS Grid is two-dimensional. Okay. So what does that mean? Well, let me try to draw for you guys. If I can do. Okay, so we're gonna create a new here. I'm gonna do that. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys how it works, right? So this is Flexbox. If you're using Flexbox, it's gonna be like this, right? And while with Grid, okay, so basically Flexbox, as I said, guys, it's one dimensional, which means that it can either, you can either put elements horizontally or vertically, right? You can either do one direction, right? That's what it basically means, direction. You can only have one direction with Flexbox, while with Grid, you can both, like you can move it both vertically and horizontally, right? At the same time. And that's what makes Grid so powerful, because you can do columns and rows, right? While with Flexbox, you can only do row or column once, right? So that's the one thing you have to understand with Flexbox, is that it's one dimensional. It is very powerful, but there are limitations, right? If you want to make complicated websites, you need to learn Grid. I'm actually going to make a video about CSS Grid as well. So be sure to subscribe. And yeah, let's get into the video. So I'm going to show you guys now how we can position things with Flexbox. Okay, so let's get to it. Okay guys, as you guys can see, now I have an empty HTML document. We're gonna go in here and we're going to, I'm just gonna X all these things out. Okay, and now we're going to, I've already linked my style sheet. I'm just gonna remove everything else here, just like that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create 3 div boxes with one container, right? So let me just do that right now. Container div box 3, like that, right? So the container is gonna have, let's just do like that. We're gonna do margin 0, box, something about a box, border, solid black, background color red with 100 pixels, height 100 pixel. Okay, and let's see if it's gonna, how do you save here? Okay, so with this we're gonna have some spacing, right? So we're gonna do, they're gonna have 20 pixels space like that, and this is gonna have width pixels, height pixels, and we're gonna position everything in the center just so I show you guys. So display flex. Okay guys, so I'm going to center this container. So let's just do that. Align item center. We need to have height. Let me just change this. So as you guys can see, we have this like, okay, maybe I'm gonna make the width a bit bigger. So let's do, well, let's do 1000 like this. So, and also I don't want you guys to get confused by this, right? This is the margin. I put margin 20 pixels, top, right, bottom, and left, right? Okay, so to use Flexbox, you need to put, because you need to put display flex on the actual container, right? The container here, you need to put flex on this one, and those boxes are gonna be the flex items, right? So if I do, and as you guys can see right now, they are vertically stacked, right? Because now each div element is a block element, right? And the block element takes the 100% of the available space, and which makes it push the other box elements down. But now we're going to, when I put display flex, it's going to, on the container, the div elements with the background color red are going to go next to each other, like they're going to be in line. So let me just do that. Display flex. So you guys can see now they are, so now there's flex on these items here. Let me show you guys. As you can see, now they're flex items, and now you're using flex, right? So it doesn't really matter, like as soon as you use flex, right? Because usually you would do flex direction row, right? If you want to have them in a row, like a horizontal way. But you have flex direction row and you have column, right? And you also have column reverse. So it's gonna go in a reverse way, but we're gonna do column, okay? Now, to position this, right? Because now we want to position these items, and I want to show you guys what you can do. So let me try to, oh, this was probably not good. Let me see. So what you can do, if you want to position these flex items, right? Or these boxes, because now they are at the position start, right? They are at the beginning. If you want to position them at the end, you can simply write justify content flex end, and they're gonna go to the end. You can do justify content center, they're gonna be center. You can do align item center, and they're gonna center on the actual they're gonna center inside the container, of course, right? You can do that, and you can do, there's so many things you can do with it. So we can also use gap, right? So if I remove the margin here, they're gonna go together, and you can use gap, and you can do like 2 rem. It's gonna separate the flex items like this, right? So you can control the space. You can do 20 RAM, you know, and you can also do specify content space around, space between, space evenly, right? So, but yeah, guys, I mean, that's a little example of Flexbox. We are actually gonna include, I think we're gonna include I'm also gonna include a video where I design or I develop a site using Flexbox, because I think that's gonna give you a better understanding, and I would highly advise you to follow along. So let's get to it. Okay guys, so I don't want to make this video too long. So what I'm going to do is this section is going to be about working with Flexbox when it comes to responsiveness, right? I'm going to show you guys different ways you can make your website responsive using Flexbox. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just have, because I have other videos where I'm using Flexbox and I'm doing design. So you can watch those videos if you want to learn, if you want to go deeper into Flexbox. But here I'm just going to do a simple demonstration of how you can make your website or how you can use Flexbox and work with responsiveness, right? So let's get to it. So I'm going to do with, as I usually do, I'm going to do height 100 pixels here. And we're going to separate the items margin. I'm going to do 20. We're just going to do top this time, I think, like that. And what else? Yeah, we're going to also do the CSS reset. So margin 0. Box sizing, water box. Okay. So yeah, so let's use we're gonna use the body here. So the body is the element that contains these div elements, right? So I have to use display flex here, and I'm going to use gap 3 rem. Okay, and I'm gonna use flex wrap. Flex wrap. I'm gonna show you guys what happens. So let's just go ahead and create more boxes so I can demonstrate to you guys like that, right? So if I click here, you guys can see what I use flex wrap. What's going to happen is that it's going to be responsive by default, right? Because when the view screen or the viewport gets, like when it touches an element, you're going to see that Flexbox is going to respond, right? That's what flex wrap does. It's it controls, right? Like it notices, like when the viewport is too small, it's going to automatically go down, right? So this was a poor example. I'm gonna just, I have too many boxes, so let's do 3, right? 3, and let's just position them in the center, right? So if it doesn't touch the element, it's gonna go, it's gonna be normal, right, in the center. As soon as you touch, right, the third element is going to be forced to go down, and then there, right? So with this, you can already make your website very responsive, right? Of course, the only thing is like this, like you want to position this here or here, right? But already with Flex Wrap, you can make it responsive. Okay. Now, if you want to make, if you want to use this, you can do this without media queries, right? But if you're going to use media queries, I'm going to show you guys how we would achieve that. So what you do is you have to, we have to find out, right? Because now this is without, right? This is what happens. Flexbox is going to basically make this one smaller because it's adjustable, right? So what we want to do is here, when we come here, we want to grab the viewport width, the current viewport width, and we want to make a media query. So media screen, and so we're gonna do max width pixels. So we want to grab the body because that's where it is, right? You want to grab the body and you can remove everything else because it's already applied. The only thing we want to what we want to happen is that what we're saying in CSS is when the screen gets to 417 pixels, we should change the flex direction of the flex items to column, right? And we also want to center. As you guys can see, it's not center. So to center it, we want to use justify content center and align item center like that. Yeah, you need to align item center, sorry, because it's already justify content center. So as you guys can see, this is how you work with responsiveness using media queries, right? So when it goes to 417 pixels, it's going to change to column, right? And when you go back, when you go above 417 pixels, this is going to apply, right? It's going to go to display flex, making the items go a row. Because when you use display flex, it's already row. Like you don't need to specify flex direction row. It's already going to be row. So, but yeah, guys, I think that's it for for now. As I said, if you want to learn more about CSS Flex, you can watch my front end mentor challenges where I use Flexbox a lot and I go through problems and all that stuff. So if you guys found this video helpful, please comment, like, and subscribe. As I always say, if you want to master, okay, you're never going to master CSS, but if you want to become very good in CSS, you just need to use it, you need to practice, and eventually you're going to become better. So thank you guys for watching. I wish you guys all the best. Peace out.